make a simple roll call. President, President's Council, I here. Vice President, President's Council, Tamara Stern.
Here.
Treasurer of President's Council, Vito Labella.
Present.
And Secretary, no one. As far as schools go, please do the following. Let me make this clear. We are recording this for those who cannot make today's meeting so that they can view it later on. I'm going to just call your school. You don't have to raise your name. If you're here, just put it in the chat. And we'll print it off later and know who's here. PSIS 30, PS 48, IS 62, PS 69, PS 105, PS 102, PS 112, PS 127, PS 164, PS 170, PS 176, PS 180, PS 185, PS 180, IS 187, sorry, PS 192, PS 200, PS 2 IS 201, PS 204, IS 227, PS 229, PS 247, IS 259, PS 310, PS 503, PS 506, 682, 748, 936, 939. If I have missed anyone, please put it in the chat. Okay, perfect. And I am here representing IS 104. Okay, hopefully you're all doing well. You are all taking a brief sigh of relief because we are now officially on midwinter break for those of us doing remote learning for the next 10 days. Yay for us. You should have received the secretary's minutes and the treasurer's report. If you just take a quick look, if anybody has anything they want to change, add, take away, please speak so let's now. Start. I'll give everybody another 2 minutes. Then we will take a vote on accepting the treasurer's report first, followed by the minutes from the from our everybody's in acceptance of the treasury report, please show by a raise of hands or put so in the chat. Thank you, Madeline. I need a second. Thank you, Tamara. Excellent. The minutes, they're long and lengthy, but everything is in there. Is there anything before we vote on that needs to be changed or added? Going once, going twice. So please, let's take a vote on the minutes for January by a show of hands. Excellent. Second, excellent. Let the record show, excellent. Look, I love the thumbs up. Excellent. Let the record show that both the secretary's minutes and the treasurer's report has been approved. Moving on and forward. Let's move on to, Christian is about, should I admit? Who's admitting?
I took care of it.
Thank you, Vito. Good afternoon, Christian.
Hello, how are you all?
Good, how are you, my dear?
I'm doing well, thank you for asking.
Good. All right. There's some things we want to clear up. I just for this, if you notice, the agenda was not particularly, just kind of vague because there's just a couple of things. I'll go over some things. If there's any clarification, let me know. But before we begin that, I'm going to let Paulette, do you want to speak on your representation and why you are attending today, please?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. Hi, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Paulette Healy. I'm the treasurer over at IS 259, and I'm here on behalf of the D20 Title I DPAC for our 36 Title I schools in this district. I just wanted to speak briefly because we are about to gear into our mid-winter break. But coming back, we are up against a deadline. March 1st is the deadline to allocate Title I funds for our schools. And I think the state has already, they already owe us enough money. So whatever we have been at, we definitely don't want to give back to the state. So I've sent out emails to all of the Title I chairs, but I just wanted to give all of the presidents here a heads up as well. A proposed budget needs to be presented at your February SLT meetings as your parents' engagement suggestions on what you want to spend the Title I 1% portion of the parent engagement budget. And that needs to be allocated before March 1st, or whatever does not get allocated will go back to the state. So I've made myself available during the midwinter break to help any of the Title I schools craft their proposed budgets. I've sent out resources along with Title I vendors and proposed allocations, what is allowable, what is not allowable. So I am extending that invitation out to all of the PTA presidents here today as well, to feel free to reach out to me if you'd like to know more. I know that there was some confusion about even finding where the school budget was on Galaxy allocations, so I could walk you guys through that as well. But just a quick reminder, because don't work on it now. By the time you guys get back from the midwinter break, you may not have enough time to schedule the events that you need to schedule in order for you not to lose that Title I funding. So with that being said, are there any questions? I'm on my phone, so I can't see if anyone's got their hand raised or anything.
I'm checking right now, but I don't, unless I'm missing it.
Nothing's
Tamara,
in the
you see
chat.
it? Nothing in the chat?
If anyone has any questions, put it in the chat and I'll relay it.
Okay, thank you. All right. Okay, thank you, Paulette, so much for the information. All
No
right.
problem.
All right, moving forward. At this time, we are going to accept nominations for our recording secretary. Begrudgingly has resigned. She made a personal decision. Not that she doesn't love us all, but she had to go elsewhere. So I'm opening this up for anybody who would like to think about it, who would like to join our lovely little, I can't even say quintet, this triple force of us, of me, Vito, and Tamara for the remaining of the year. If you'd like to think about it or know what it is that's entailed, please ask. Now is the time. Anyone? It's crickets out there. Come on, people. Everybody's so quiet. Nobody? Nobody. Nobody. All right. So keep that in the back of your mind. If you don't want to say it out loud and you want to put it in the chat that you're considering running, please put it in the chat. And then we will hold the election when we return in March. Sound good? Excellent. Moving on. For those of you who are uncertain, middle school applications are due. So is the high school applications are due as of February the 23rd. The chancellor said anybody who's applying to LaGuardia, you have until March the 1st to apply. Also, the lovely if anybody have any questions about middle school, high school, please ask now. Everybody's so informed. They have nobody has any more questions. Awesome. Okay, next big ticket item on our agenda is the District 20 Community Education Council elections, ladies and gents. It is coming up. It will be here in the spring. The election has applications for parents who would like to run is open now. I'm sure you're all jumping at the bit to run for the CEC. The elections will be held May 1st. Vito, correct me, May 1st through the 28th?
I think the whole month of May, right?
Whole month of May. We, as President's Council, will have the task to run a candidate forum. I did it last time around. It is fun, yay. There are 11 positions open in our council, 9 of which is elected, and 2 are borough president appointees.
Yes.
Thank you. Yes, I do get educated every day as I go along. Last night's CEC meeting, Vito, would you like to talk about what happened? Any top topics?
You were there.
I know, there was so much going
There was so
on
much
last
going
night.
on,
So
yeah.
was Tamara. Tamara was there too. You want to give it to Tamara? She can talk too.
That's fine.
Go ahead. Come on, Tamara.
Um,
Give us your viewpoint on the CEC meeting last night.
it was actually very informative meeting.
Yes.
What is, I know
It
somebody
doesn't happen.
in the
It doesn't
chat.
happen often, but it does when it's amazing.
I know there was Michael from school planning was there. There was Assemblyman Colton was there.
Right.
There was an issue with the what is it, the budget that was brought up and the money that's being taken out
Correct.
by Cuomo.
Right.
He's taking money out of education and using it to balance the budget.
Of course
And
he is.
you know what I mean? And we really need that money because a lot of us are suffering from not having the necessary resources that we need for our schools because he took a lot of money. That's why we don't have the teachers that we need in our school. A lot of schools still need teachers because they're short-staffed. You know what I mean? So it's a huge issue. I really think that if he wants to take money away from somebody, he should donate his salary to
Yes.
to all of them on in the Republicans, the Democrats, all of them. I think they should all donate their salary for a year, the whole year, and then we could use their salary to pad the budget. So, and it's something. So the chancellor actually agrees with us, which I'm surprised. We don't agree often, but I don't know. So I don't know if there's going to be like any town halls or any things that will keep you informed, as we hear it. But there's also, I know the CEC is also going to start a special education committee. If anybody's interested in being a part of that. My guess is like they send the invitation to parent coordinators with, how we normally get that information. And then from there, it will go to us and our community. So I guess, look out for that.
All right. Yes. So last night was, thank you, Tamara. Last night CEC was chock full of information.
I have an update, ma'am.
Yes, please, Mr. Vito, please give us the good news.
I put this in the chat. I just received official notice from Ms. Freeman's office that Deputy Superintendent David Preto has been appointed to take over District 20 as superintendent.
Okay.
I put that in the chat and I'll send out
Hold on.
and I'll send out the notice that I got to Tamara and Janine, and they could send it out to the PTAs.
Okay. Thank you. So does everybody read the chat and so everybody understands what has occurred? Anybody have any questions about it? All right, let's not get overly excited, ladies and gents, about it. Anybody have any questions on what Ms. Freeman has said to us? No. Okay. Christian, are you still on the line?
I am still here.
Can you, I didn't write it down. One of the parents was asking what the email is to run for the CEC. I know Cherie gave it this morning, but I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, I'll put it in the chat.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
The charger's getting me. Okay.
Hi, Anna Maria.
Hi, Janine. How are you?
Good. How are you, my dear?
Well, thank you very much. I'm here with my little one, so that's
Oh,
why.
that's fine. Okay. Also, let me just bring back, this morning, I attended a CPAC meeting, which is the Chancellor's Parents Advisory Council, and the Chancellor was there. Chancellor Carranza was there. He's the one who gave us the information that the applications are due for middle school, high school. He also wanted to share the lovely good news that starting February the 25th, middle schools, grades 6 through 8, will be back blended in person back into the school buildings. A question was asked about high schools. It has not been determined at this point when high schools will be going back. He does want to have a date set, just not at the moment. He also stated that there also is the possibility for those who are not blended and would like to be blended, you might have another option, have another time to opt in, but that date also has not been determined as of yet. He said if there are any parents who are in any need to have to go back to work and their child is 100% remote learning, please reach out to your parent coordinator who will hook you up to your learning hubs. That's where your child would be able to go in case they need the extra help or guidance or supervision. Please take advantage of the parent university that is out there with workshops and classes that are going on. At this moment, I'm going to ask Christian if there's anything from FACE that needs to be discussed.
Nope.
Nope, she's good. She's like, I'm done. I'm ready. I'm out of here.
Right. I'm ready for these few days off.
I hear that. Trust me, I hear that. Okay.
I have a question.
Sure. What's up?
So,
Yes.
would you like for me to put the PowerPoint that they have for parents for the CEC elections in the chat as well?
Yes, please. That would be
Yes.
great. Thank you.
I sent them the new link.
Right.
So and I haven't gotten a response, so I don't know if because there were a lot of meetings today, so they were at the
Yes.
CPAC and everything, so
Yeah.
I don't know if they
I'll
might.
put it in the chat, the link.
Thank you.
Thanks,
I
Christian.
appreciate it.
No problem.
Appreciate it. Okay. All right. Now, as far as that's the business end of things. Does anybody have any questions, comments, concerns, or things they want to announce, bring up, discuss? Now is the time.
Hi, I have a question.
Sure. Go ahead. Go
Danielle
for it.
Lamanna.
What's
So
up?
looking forward, we are trying to schedule graduation. I know it's crazy, we're not there yet, but technically we will be
Right.
shortly. So do we have any guidelines? Has it been discussed? Do they have any idea if we'll be allowed to even do in person safely, still following all of the social distancing criteria and all of
Right.
that?
Okay, from my understanding, and this is just what was floated around this morning by Deputy Chancellor Adrienne Austin, is that she is looking into the fact of the possibility of graduation. She knows everybody wants to hold something at some point, as far as she just hasn't pinpointed the exact how to go about it. Like what like as far as location goes, how many you can have, what the requirements. She says she's working on it, and as soon as she knows and gets it pinpointed down, she will share the news with everybody.
Okay, that sounds wonderful. Thank
I know
you.
it's not the best answer, but we have to. I'm looking at it being positive. It's
It's
moving in
something.
the right direction. Because first she was just mentioning high school, and all of a sudden, all the people in CPAC were like, wait a minute, but there's middle school, and there's, and she's like, okay, I get it.
Yeah, everyone wants to do something.
Exactly. So she says we're taking it one step at a time, and hopefully, that it will everything will come to fruition, and actually people have actual graduations, which would be lovely.
Yes, it would be. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Anybody else? Anybody who new just joined? I know things were a little complicated today trying to join, but thank you, Tamara, for your patience and relentless work of getting this done. Anybody else?
Janine, it's Paulette. I had a question about
Sure.
candidate forums.
The what?
For the CEC candidate forums.
Yes.
Is there a deadline when they need to be done since the elections start in May?
The candidate form, I just got the information today, so I have to look at it and see as far as when what the date is, unless somebody else can answer, unless Christian can answer
Pace
that.
is
but
supposed to work with us in coming up with a date
Thank
and
you.
scheduling, because they're going to be quarterbacking most of it.
Thank you, Vito.
Okay, so quick question,
yeah,
because
ahead.
again, you know, we're all kind of navigating this whole virtual thing, but
Right.
so normally it's President's Council who hosts the candidate forums per district, correct?
Yes.
So if you know, every member of our President's Council theoretically wants to run, then who hosts the forum?
Then I would say that we'd have to get like almost like a subcommittee of those who are willing, of parents from this group, from those who are presidents and or designees from the schools. That's where it would come from.
A lot of that can be done by face now too.
Right, exactly. Or they could just, right, or they can determine who will run things as well. Anybody else?
I have
Nobody
a
else?
question.
Sure,
Christian,
Tamara.
do you have any idea if we will be doing any audits this year for the PTA?
I haven't heard anything yet, but I'm pretty sure there will be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would we have to do it by like the original like deadline before June?
I'm not sure. I will follow up on that.
Okay.
Yeah, let me follow up.
All right, thanks so much.
You're welcome.
All right. Anybody else? Nobody else? Nobody else has any questions, comments? Nobody?
Wait, Janine, did you
Yeah.
bring up the part about the state test?
No, I did not. You can bring that up. That's another piece of good news. Go ahead.
Okay, the chancellor said that how
Right.
they're not going to be taking a state test. We're going to get
Correct.
a waiver for it this
Right.
year for the kids.
Correct.
So because they still don't know how they would even be able to implement that whole thing between,
Right.
so it's for 3 to 8th grade. They still haven't received any guidance on what's going to happen with regions at the end of the year. They're still waiting for that, but there's a waiver that all the parents will be able to get.
Yes.
So you guys, just so you guys know about that.
Right. Thank you. Yes, the chancellor did state the fact that the as far as assessment state exams will not be given. Regions are still undetermined. And also, if any of us who have children that are taking AP classes, those exams are going forward. They have not been canceled. They have not been redirected. So if your child is scheduled to take an AP exam, then your child will take an AP exam, which is the advanced placement exams.
It's going to be in June rather than May.
Exactly.
The
It'll be
first
in
week of
fiscal
June
year.
rather than the first week of May.
That's it. Thank you. All right. Anybody else? Nobody has, everybody's PTA is running perfectly. Nobody has any problems. That's great. Makes my job easier, our job easier.
Wait, I actually have a question.
Sure, Jamie, what?
Are we allowed to use accounting programs?
Such as what, like QuickBooks?
Well, yeah, something like that. Because I mean, everything is done by hand and stuff like that. And we just think it would be, are we allowed to do that?
I don't see why not, unless but somebody can correct me if I'm incorrect in that information.
You're allowed to use it.
Yeah.
You're allowed, yeah.
You just can't have digital checks.
Thank
Oh,
you.
that's-
That was my, I knew there was a sticking point there somewhere. Yes, thank you. That's fine, no problem.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
And if you pay for it, you just need to make sure that it's in your proposed budget and you pass it through your parent membership.
Okay.
And that could be something you anniversary every year.
Right.
Hi,
Oh,
everyone.
one thing before I forget.
Yes.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Paulette,
Just a
Dad,
quick-
were you saying something?
Yeah, just a quick reminder that for those of you who did apply for RESOA funding for your school buildings, the deadline for the borough president consideration is March 1st.
Okay. And for those of you who are going through Councilman Brennan, your deadline for Reso A is February 19th. I know not all of us are Councilman Brennan, but those of us who are, it's February 19th. And if you need any further information, let me know and I will let you know who to talk to. All right, Anna, what do you have to say? What, Paul?
Sorry. Yeah, Menchaca's is actually February 28th.
There you go. Perfect. Anna?
Yes, hi, Janine.
Hi, what's up?
I just wanted to share that, I did come across issues with the administration. I reached out to Christian.
Okay,
And I also reached out to Paulette. I'm sorry, not Paulette. I'm sorry, to Tamara.
okay.
And they have helped me and I felt very supported. So I just wanted to share that. So it's great that the President's Council is actually doing what they're supposed to do and help the PTAs with
Okay.
issues.
Okay.
And I just wanted to say I felt very supported and I appreciate all their help.
Good, I'm glad to hear that, Anna. Thank you.
Oh, Christian, I just saw what you wrote in the chat. Okay. For the audit, because Christian said that how the PTAs will be allowed to do their own audit. For the schools that don't, the PTAs still not let into the building, would that be possible to do an audit if we're not let into the
PTAs that are not
building?
let into the
How are you
building.
not let into the building?
Some, because you know what it is, because I know certain PTAs are still not letting in the building, the principal doesn't feel comfortable, so like, she lets a staff member brings out the PTA stuff to the PTA outside the building. So now if you need to get your books and stuff in order to do your audit, how are you able to, you know what I mean? Like, is there
Right.
a way around that?
I mean, Christian, if you want to say that, my understanding was that you were supposed to be allowed in for even for a short period of time. And
Right.
nobody should be touching, unless it's the parent coordinator, any of the PTA books.
Yeah,
And even that is a sticky situation. Go ahead,
exactly.
Christian, I'm
That
sorry.
gets sticky too. So,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's where it gets tricky.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
It's a situation where
Right.
I kind of feel like maybe I don't like to get superintendents involved, but
Right.
getting that information, it's needed. So if one person can just go into the building to get the books or whatever, that's what needs to be done. So maybe it might be something that needs to be escalated just to get access to the building.
Right.
And it's not like, I'm coming to the building to hang out. I'm coming at a very specific time for a certain amount of time just to
Right.
grab something. So, yeah.
Will we be able to help any of the schools with that situation? President's
Sure.
Council?
Sure. And then, you can always CC us on it. And,
Right.
the more people that you have on the email, the better.
Okay. At this point, the people that are in this meeting right at the moment, is there anybody who has not had access to their building? And you don't have to.
I
you don't
don't.
have to- Danielle, you don't. Why? Wait a minute. Where are you at? You're at. Wait a
Yeah.
minute.
I'm at 186.
And
PS 186.
that's a K to 5, correct?
Yes.
And how come you don't have access?
She will arrange or approve entry with a specific reason, but for just, accessing it to look at our books or get some flyers or do something about picture day, because we have picture day, we're just not going to access it for what she thinks is, non-consequential or not important or
Right, but
stuff
here's
like that.
here's the thing that gets me a little I don't know what I'm trying to be nice here. I mean, principals do know that we have paperwork. There are things that need to be done. Granted,
Right.
we are not physically in the building, but you know what? Life goes on, things go forward, and the district still wants their accountability. And the
Mhm.
principal has accountability to the superintendent and to the chancellor. So do we.
Right. Right.
I mean, Yeah.
So basically, anytime I've actually needed something, even if it's a simple, generating a flyer, because obviously we're not on the same network, so we're not,
Right.
from home.
Okay.
I just hand everything to my assistant principal. She does it.
Oh,
So,
okay.
I mean, I just tell her I need it out by this day. We have to meet like 10 days, get this notice out or get this flyer out for parents or do this and she just does it.
Okay, because that's something that needs to be, especially because here's my stickler with that, and anybody can back me up on this. Considering we are having an election for community educational council, we need to get in there and get parents involved. We need to put the word out. We need to get principals to either put it by school messenger or however the platform is, or it's a backpack flyer home. I mean, these are things that need to be done. So we're gonna have to figure out how to go about this. Because I was under the
So are
impression-
you saying we should be allowed access when we feel it's necessary to access the building without this approval?
Well, even if you, let's say, for instance, if you, like my principal, if I emailed her in the morning and said, I want to come in for an hour on Tuesday, she'll get back to me and say, yes, an hour on Tuesday is fine. From this point to this point is great. And then
Okay, she said she would be willing to do that too. So
then
then
I would limit the amount of time you're in there and do as much as you can within that time frame.
Okay.
I agree.
Yeah, because no one is supposed to take any books home. Like checkbooks.
Oh no, I know.
Nothing. Yeah, okay. I'm just making sure, just for the new ones, I'm making sure everybody's that everybody's
Yeah,
on
you can't
board with
take those
that.
home.
Don't take those things home.
Nothing goes.
Never ever.
Paulette, hold on one second because Ruby had a question in the chat that I want to address first. It's nice for the principal to give the go-ahead, but you don't necessarily need their permission to have an online sale unless you need access to the emails. Because we just had, so Ruby, are you there? Where is she?
Yes, I am here. I am listening.
What did you want to do?
I wanted to do online sale. Mr.
Okay.
Mara sent me a link, which was it's
Okay.
nice. Thank you, Mr. Mara.
Yeah.
But my principal wants to approve it first. I did so. It's just chocolate, things like that. It's nothing bad that kids could purchase, or even parents. But first she said she wants to see the link, but she's taking a little bit long. I sent this a long time ago, and I'm still waiting for her approval. I just want to bring some kind of something, to our PTA, so we could help parents later on. But it's hard, really, when you don't have that extra help that you need inside.
Yeah, I understand. Right. Okay. I would email your principal again because if you've given her long enough time, I don't understand what the approval. I'm trying to understand what she's trying to approve of what you're trying to put online as a fundraiser, or.
She said she wants to take a look at it. That's what she said. And I sent her the link, and I'm still waiting.
Then I would ask her, say, listen, I want to get moving with this, as polite as you can, and say, because that should be, she's already, if the principal's looked at it, then she should know what she's, then that's what she lets you get back to you. I would send her another email just saying, would like to move forward and see how that goes. If not, then get back to us and we'll see what we can do.
Okay, thank you so much. Another thing.
Yes.
I'm not allowed to have any, it's something, I know it's private thing, but I'm not allowed to have any information with no parents. Like if I want to send a letter, because if I send it to my principal or parent coordinator, not all the parents get it. Understand? Like, listen, to my meetings, only one parent came, one parent. So I was like, oh my God,
Okay. No, that should not, no, if you're sending it, if you want to hold a meeting on Zoom, is that what you're talking about, holding a meeting on Zoom?
Yes, I don't I'm not the one who even does the meeting. They send me the link, the principal sends me the link, and that's it. I'm not just like another guest. Yeah, I'm the one speaking there, but I'm just like another guest.
No, that should not. Okay, well, Ruby, we'll talk because that should not be. We'll just hold on. We'll I will talk at the end of the meeting. Just hold on. Because
All
that's,
right.
yeah, we'll address that issue. Not a problem.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. All
Wait,
right.
I just have a question for Ruby.
Sure. Go ahead, Jamie.
Do you not have access to any emails at all from any of the parents?
No, I don't. Not in, nope.
All right,
She will
well,
not
what you might
allow
want
it.
to do, what
Yeah.
we do at 229, the beginning of the school year, we write a letter to the parents that go home. I mean, now it's different, obviously, pandemic, and we're allowed in our building. But we send a letter home and right in their backpack, and we ask every single parent for their email address.
Right.
And then we put that into a Google group. And
Yeah.
so when we need to get in touch with any parents, we have all of their email addresses.
Yeah.
So that might be something that you guys could do
That's a good- yeah.
when things get
like-
back to normal.
Amy,
Yes.
I'm gonna try and do that. You know, when I have my meetings, ask the parents if they could put them on their email. It's still hard because I really only get 2 or 3 parents, or sometimes just 5 at my meetings. So it's, you know, it's just hard.
Right. Yeah, because, which is true. You do, okay, let's make something very clear here, people, everybody across the board, old, new, whatever, however you want to put it. Principals do not run your PTA meetings. You run your PTA meetings. And if that's the issue, then you have to go to your parent coordinator and you have to stress that fact that you want to hold a meeting on your platform. You designate what goes along with your bylaws in your PTA, not what the principal wants. And if there's any issues, then that has to be addressed.
Well, let me tell you
Yeah.
another thing.
Go ahead. No, that's
Well-
okay. Go ahead. That's what we hear. Go ahead.
No. When we are in the meeting, and you know, instead of saying that to me, she will go to my parent coordinator. Oh, can you find out in the board? I like to call. I forgot her name. I had it in my head and I forgot. And I was like, okay, I'm here, but she won't say that to me to ask, right? But she goes, everything goes forward to the parent coordinator.
Uh-oh.
I'm
What
looking.
is that?
I'll look, hold on.
Oh, I'm taking care of little girl. She's running.
Oh. Okay.
Sorry.
That's okay.
I'm sorry.
That's fine. No, that's okay.
I'm gonna catch you.
I was ready.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's not, all right. So if you're there, Ruby, she doesn't address you. She doesn't, that makes no sense. Did she go? Yeah.
No,
Go ahead.
I'm here.
Yeah.
No, you know, I just want to know all of this because really, I
Yeah.
don't even plan my meetings. She would just ask me, "Oh, what day is good for you?" So I'm like, you know, really, I just pick a day. And she's like, "Okay, we're gonna do it at what time?" And that's it, really. But she would send me the link just to be on the meeting, like any guest. You know, I'm not the one
Right.
planning. Like I want to plan more activities for the parents to get involved, but
Okay.
it's not working out.
All right. We're going to have a side meeting with you, Ruby. What school are you from again? Oh, good.
PS 506.
PS 506?
Yeah.
Oh, you're the one that has an issue. Okay. Yeah. All right. Hold on.
Amy?
Thank you, Christian. Christian had to go to another meeting.
Are you calling me, Vito?
Yeah, I just had a question for Jamie.
Yeah, no, you can't. Jamie, wow, look, Jamie, go ahead.
Do you pay for your school's email addresses, like for the school to use? Like
No.
we use I forgot what we use, but we paid for that. So
No.
our position would be, and I think, you know, I would like to see going forward, instead of having you collect all of the PTA, I'm sorry, the parents' email addresses, you should really have access to their system, and that could
Well,
be
we are
something
allowed, we
think
have
of.
our own People Path account, the PTA. So we already have access to many.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Our issue is a lot of these parents don't bother with People Path, but they'll constantly check their regular emails. But the letter that we send out is also there for the PTA dues. So it's like, hey, this is the amount for PTA dues. Please give us your email address, and then you can reach us on all these social media platforms. And then they send in their dues along with their email address, and then we have it all.
So you have
Yeah,
to
but
input
yeah,
everything
As a
though.
backup, because
Yeah.
so many parents don't check Pupil Path, but
Right.
we have access to both.
That's great. That's what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, we got very lucky with that.
all right, that's good. Okay, very good. All right. Anybody else?
Yeah, It's
What,
Paulette. Yeah,
Yes.
I've got to run because I gotta get my kids to their orthodontist appointment. But
Okay.
I think, like the issues that Ruby had addressed, what Anna had spoken to earlier, I'm hearing the same thing at my DPAC meetings, where it's like principals are under the impression that the PTAs work for them instead of working together.
Right.
And I think the whole not allowing access into the buildings is a major issue when it comes to that. Because honestly, like, how are the PTAs supposed to function if they can't even get into the building to get the files that have been there since March? So it's disappointing that the district isn't at our meeting today, because these are issues that they need to address, because there's only no one expects President's Council to go to every single one of our 41 schools and talk to each principal individually and tell them, hey, according to Chancellor's regs, PTAs are autonomous. So this is something we really need the district to enforce within our principals. Not to say that our principals aren't doing an amazing job. We love, and we love them, and we understand like all of the pressures they're under, especially with this, reopening right after the break. But some things need to be addressed, and it's like, if there's constantly going to be barriers to keep our parent leaders from access, listen, there's HIPAA regulations in terms of like health and safety, there's privacy issues, in terms of ATR and ATS, but having measures like Jamie mentioned, creating a Google group or a MailChimp or some kind of Google sign up in order for our parents to have access to the parent body that they're serving is instrumental. I don't know how, what the laws are for PTOs. I'm not as familiar with them, but I know that, that's the major hindrance when it comes to sharing parent information. The school will always say, the administration will always say, well, we're not allowed to give that information out to you because, these systems are, there's privacy issues. That's fine. But if we can instruct our PTAs, like, these are the forms you can use, like Google Forms, like Google Groups, like MailChimp, in order to capture that information at your meetings, it would make things so much easier for all of the incoming PTAs. And we really need someone at the district to talk to the principals and allow access to our parent leaders.
Thanks, Paulette. I think you're absolutely correct in all that you have said. So I think it's time now that we have a new superintendent. I think it's time that I stretch an olive branch out and or send an email from the President's Council as a group and saying, these are the things that need to be addressed and forwarded. And hopefully by that point, by our next meeting, we can have this new superintendent at our meeting and let him discuss what he sees for District 20. And let him put it in his, because he gives the principals, any superintendent has a principal's newsletter that goes out every week. And then let the principals know what's going on. So it's not like there's no communication there. So we're just gonna have to start using those roads of communication in order to get through the district of what's going on. Oh, thank you. Thanks again, Paulette. Anybody else? Anybody else concerns, comments? Anybody have anything else that's going on in their school they want to share? I know not in the school, but virtually, or no, everybody's set. Everybody has everybody in place and motion.
Happy Lunar New Year, everyone, for those
Happy
celebrating.
Lunar New Year. Yep, that's right. Happy Lunar New Year. Happy Valentine's Day. Happy President's Week. However you want to slice it, dice it.
Can
Anybody
I ask a
else?
question?
Sure, Tamara. What's up?
Okay, out of the schools that are here,
Yes, out of schools that are here. That's what I'm trying to see who's here.
know.
Exactly. Yes, go
do
ahead.
you how can you use the, like, I guess a show of hands, like you can use the hand up reaction? How many of you guys have your own Zoom account? Period. Like your own platform, whether it's Zoom, whether it's what is it, Meets or like, how many of you guys have it? Like your own,
Not a PTA one, not
your personal one. Yeah, your PTA one for your board.
How do I raise my hand again? Because I have one.
Or you could put yes. I think they have
guys
yes and
bought
no.
it?
Yeah.
A what?
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Ruby says no. Anna says no. Jamie says yes. Danielle, you know too?
How do you guys not?
You too. That's
Vito,
a good
what do you-
amount.
I think
Yeah,
she's
no, we
asking
don't-
if the PTA paid for their own.
No.
No,
If you
no,
have
no,
your
no.
own Zoom, your own
Zoom. You put
online
out your own
platform for
quote,
your
own
board
platform.
where you could do your meetings and stuff, just online, whether you paid for it or it's DOE, like who has their
Yes,
own
but I
online
paid for it.
platform.
You
No, we
what?
don't have it. Ours kinds of works like Ruby.
That's what I've been hearing. Like a lot
Yeah,
of schools
usually the
and like,
principal, the assistant principal will send out my flyer and then she'll get parents because we put it on Opera. We use Opera for them to accept or decline so they're aware or that so that way we know that they actually received it and viewed the flyer for our meeting. And then she just sends out the link to the parents.
Okay, well, does everybody, here's my thing. Okay, piggybacking on this. My principal finally got tired. She didn't want to do it anymore of me using 104s. So I'm using my, so the PTA says, no, you need to create your own. You need to do your own thing. And that's exactly what I did. So when I put out my meetings, it comes from me. I'm the host. I admit the parents in for executive, for general, and the principal is just an invited guest. So if that's the case, then we have to really start thinking about how this, because we all have DOE, everybody knows we have DOE emails to use, right? For this platform? If not, you need, yes, no?
Yeah, I mean, it's been created. Everybody has it
been
already.
created.
Some of it.
Everybody
yeah,
has
but a
it.
lot
And
of
if you
people,
don't,
a
Where
lot of
is
people
it?
can't activate this. A lot of people don't have, a lot of schools, a lot
I
of
don't have
PTAs
that.
don't.
here's the
We-
deal. Okay, hold on.
Mhm.
Everybody, yes, that's what I thought too. And then I did some research and this is what I came across. Every single principal in this district, and this is no joke, has our PTA password, code, and whatnot in their possession. You have to ask for it. You have to draft up an email and say, wow, I just attended the President's Council meeting and I was told, la da 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 da, where's mine? They have to give it to you. This is not open for discussion. This is not open for, well, woulda, coulda, shoulda. No. FACE and DOE has taken the time to create for all of us so that we're not relying on our principals, that we can do our own thing.
So wait,
Yes.
just so I'm clear on this. I'm going to
Please.
send her an email. She's going to
Yes.
send me my information, which she's had all along
Correct.
since October or November.
Yep, you're gonna play dumb, Danielle, and you're just gonna. The
Yeah.
only way to
To be
put it.
You mean like I've been?
Well, there you go.
Okay.
To be fair,
love-
a lot of the principals don't understand how they have to do
Exactly.
it, right?
Right, exactly.
So they have this, Danielle, who's asking about the thing? Danielle,
Me, Danielle, yeah.
Danielle
what's your
Lamana.
school?
186. And my principal is wonderful. So I'm just
Yeah,
like
so it's
dumbfounded.
20K 186
Exactly.
EA at schools.newyorkcity.gov. You
Correct.
get access
Oh.
through the internet browser through Edge or Microsoft, and then you have to, and they'll give you a temporary password, and then you go in and you change the password to whatever you want it to be.
Yes,
Wait,
like
this
you-
is for email? You're talking just for
So
email?
yeah, once you have the email, then you could do the DOE Zoom.
Zoom. Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. So that's on me. That's my own fault then. I'm sorry. I misunderstood. Yes, we've had an email all along, for a very, very, very long time. We've
Right,
changed the
but then-
password. So you're saying now I could do my own Zoom though?
Yes.
Oh, so
So
then I
you
didn't know
use the
that.
DOE Zoom, but you sign in with the
Right.
20K.
Right. Okay. I
Yes.
get it.
Vito
Thank you.
gets very upset when it comes on here that it says 20K 104, and he says, well, where's your name? Because I put, that's what I'm doing.
Okay. I understand. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Just a heads up for a lot of you guys that are Title I schools, you
Yes.
could actually use your Title I funds to pay for your Zoom.
Yes.
It's part of your communication budgets or translations also. So just so you guys know, there is money allocated in there that you could use to pay for your Zoom.
Right.
Like if you do not want to do the the DOE version.
Tamara, can you explain, because if you have a population that has multiple language, you can use it. They have a lot of better features. You're saying you're more familiar.
Yes,
with that.
Oh, I would've
because
thought-
we use our Title I funds to pay for ours. And what happened, we added a lot of like the bells and whistles that normally didn't come with the DOE Zoom. Like we have, this is what we're using now. Like once you activate the settings, like we have language interpretation. So what it is it looks like a little globe once you set it up before your meeting, and then you could add certain people to interpret different languages. Like there's Chinese, Spanish, French, German, Arabic, and so forth. And what happens when you designate somebody as an interpreter from like English to whatever language, it shows up. So once you start that in your meeting, they could just click on Spanish, they could click on French, and they will hear the person translating simultaneously. So it's not like, you do English and then somebody translate, you know what I mean? It takes up time. So it's happening as the meeting is going on. So they will hear the Spanish translation over the English. So you get what I'm saying? It's really cool. You know what I mean? Like, I researched it, we tested it out numerous times. It was really awesome because we do Chinese interpretation, Spanish, and we do Arabic.
So
and we
Tamara,
also have,
you know how like on the CEC meeting last night, they had 3 different interpreters? You don't need that, you're saying?
You don't need that.
Wow. Then why doesn't the DOE do that?
We're in precedence.
Because it's because they didn't activate that setting.
Right.
That's why you have to activate the setting.
Anna,
Does it cost a lot of money?
I think we have what is it, the Pro? I mean, if your title, it's really not that much because you could get a discount. You know what I mean? So if they pay for the year, it's actually a lot cheaper.
Okay.
Especially because CC has, all the funds. So some of that funds they could allocate for that and just pay for it. And those people will show up and they just click the Spanish button and they will hear Spanish. You don't have to go back and forth, and you don't have to call a specific number. Everything is in Spanish.
Have you spoken to the parents who are listening? Are they happy with it?
Yeah, they actually, you don't understand, like the teachers that actually do the translation, they were wild about it. You know what I mean? Because they were like, because they weren't sure. They was like, wait, I have to wait till you talk and then translate. They was like, that means it's gonna be longer, but it's like it's at the same time. So it's like listening to Spanish or French while I'm doing English. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's fabulous.
Anna, did you have something? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Tamara. Anna, did you have something?
Yes, I just wanted to add that this is like all new information, and it really, I wish there was a handbook or resource page that we can go to and get all these resources as PTA presidents, because I was led to believe, I've been in the PTA for 2 years, and I was led to believe everything that was said to me to be truth until I started attending these meetings by the parent coordinators, by the administration. And there's a lot of stuff that didn't connect until I started getting more information. So I just wish there was like a resource page, especially now that we can all access to get all this information. For example, I don't have a DOE account, so I don't have a Zoom. So I depend a lot on the administration for these things, which I'm trying not to, because it almost feels like they trying to push their agenda on us, and we're trying to. So I'm just trying to see if there's a way that maybe. Sometimes I feel like the administration needs training as well on how to work with the PTA, because they have they're delusional at times on how PTAs work and that we don't work for them.
Right.
So I think we need to be clear on that. And unfortunately, they're set in a way that it's hard to change, and it just makes it really difficult for PTA presidents and the whole PTA to work together as a team.
I fully, I get what you're saying, Anna. Yes, it has to be some sort of but your principal, now you're at 503, right?
Yes, I'm from 503.
Okay. You're, like we were stating before, you have an email that has been created. You just have to get your principal to give you the access to it. Once you have it, it's yours. Because then that's yours, what you use from now till the next president, the president after that, for however long.
Right, Janine. But when I've emailed them regarding this, they tell me that, oh, the parent coordinator is going to take care of that. It's been since the shutdown and it hasn't been taken care of. So it's almost like
Okay. Who's your parent coordinator? I'll get in touch with her. Who is it?
Tilcia Sola.
Yeah, put it in the chat for me, and I will
Okay.
I will reach out. Not a problem.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Well, if everybody's curious about the other person that has joined our group, her name is Miss Cherie Gibson. Cherie, you there?
Yes, I am.
Hello, my dear. I
Hi.
saw you this morning. I see you now. Look at that.
I'm all over the place.
Did CPAC ever end this morning or what?
It didn't end in the morning. It
Oh,
ended in the afternoon.
Afternoon, right? Okay. Could you please explain to those here what your position is and why you are joining us?
Certainly. So thank you so much to D20 President's Council for inviting me. I am here as one of the outreach members for the citywide and community and citywide education councils. So, you know, the CEC elections are happening. We're in the process now, and the voting opens in May. So we are going to all of our president's councils, CECs, any parent events to let families know about the elections, about the new process, whether you want to run or to vote. And so D20 invited me to come present this information to you guys as well. So give me a second to share my screen. Oh, where did my presentation go? Oh, sorry about that. There you are. Presentations. It's been a busy day. Not that one. As you can imagine, I have a bajillion of these presentations, PowerPoint presentations, and I have so many of them open. There we go. Okay. So thank you for bearing with me. Share my screen. So you should be able to see. There we go. Okay. So right now we are in the next phase of the elections process, which is the application phase, which is we are now looking for parents and legal guardians to run, serve, and lead. That's the 2020 guide tagline. So we do these elections every 2 years. So what is the big deal? What is all this hype that we've got going around it this year? Well, that's because due to advocacy from CEC members, they were able to expand the voter base. So no longer is it just a few members of the PTA leadership voting. Now every family has a vote and has a say on who's sitting and serving on their education councils and their citywides. So of course, now we've gone from about 5,000 people voting to over 1 million people voting. So what are we going to do? How are they going to be able to vote utilizing whatever DOE has? And so DOE is going for this cycle. We are going to use our New York City Schools account, NYXA, or the My Student. All three of those names is for the same account. This account is important for parents to have outside of the elections, but for the elections, we will be using it for you to be able to apply, as well as when voting opens, you'll be able to vote through your New York City Schools account. So we're here to get you to participate. So we want you to attend education council meetings and citywide meetings to see how they're serving your community and your students. For those who are so inclined, we want you to step up for a seat to apply this month. And when voting opens in May, we want you to participate and vote. So education councils. There are 36 education councils, 32 community school districts across the 5 boroughs, and then 4 citywides. And I always emphasize a little bit on the citywides, just because that's usually the ones that families don't really know as much about. So we have the Citywide Council for high school students, and there's a Citywide Council for students with IEPs, CCSE, and the Citywide Council for English language learners, and then there's a citywide for D75 programs. So all of these councils are the opportunity for parents to have a direct impact and say on education policies, on student achievement, on guiding superintendents and senior staff and the chancellor. So this, if you're into education advocacy, if you want to try to make a difference, an education council may be an option for you. So how do you know which councils that you are eligible to run in as well as vote? Well, eligibility is driven by the student. So wherever your student goes to school and whatever programs that your student is involved in will determine what councils that you're eligible for. So using the examples that we have here, Nia has 3 councils that she's eligible for because she has a 4th grader with an IEP in a District 18 school and a son who's a 9th grader in a Bronx high school. So she's eligible to vote or run in CEC 18, the Citywide Council for Special Education, and the Citywide Council for High Schools. And similarly, Vladimir has a 7th grader in a District 6 school, so who is also an English language learner. So he has 2 councils he's eligible for, CEC 6 and the Citywide Council of English Language Learners. Now, just on these slides, we emphasize just one parent, but if it's a 2-parent household, each parent is eligible to run. They would just need their own NICSA account to apply. So our timeline, we are currently in the application phase. The application is open. As of yesterday, I think we had about 2,000, just a little over 2,000 applications. So parents are in, families are excited, they're doing it. And so we're hoping that more from D20 will step up and apply as well. For the whole month of February, the application closes after February 28th. Once we close, we then move on to the candidate forums. The candidate forums will be virtual this time. Each district president's councils will be hosting with the support, tech support from FACE, so you're not on your own. So, we'll be hosting their communities virtual candidate forum. The forums is an opportunity for the candidates who are running to come and share with the community their thoughts, their vision, their answer questions about why you should vote for them to sit on your council. So we'll have those, the schedule will be coming out soon, and they will run between March 15th to April 30th. Then on May 1st, the voting opens. Voting is mandated by New York state law, so we will be open on May 1st and we will close after May 11th. Any need for a runoff or anything like that happens after that, so we're able to post the results of the elections by the end of May, first week of June. And then on Saturday, June 26th, there will be a full day orientation for our newly elected officials. And they close out that day with a swearing-in ceremony to begin their new term of 2-year term of service from July 1st to June 30th of 2023. So just quickly to show you a little bit about the application. So when you now log into your New York City Schools account, you will see a green banner that is showing you information about the Education Council. Now, your NICSA has to be already linked to your student to be able to apply for the Education Council. So when you log in, if your account is linked, it will look similar like this if you have more than one student. If you only have one student, you will automatically see your student's information, but you will see your student's information there, plus this lovely green banner that is highlighting the Education Council with the Apply Now button. Our greatest benefit of using the New York City Schools account is it preloads all your information. That helps to minimize the amount of time that you spend on the application because certain things are already covered. So when you click the application and take it to the application page, your first page is the student information. You don't have to fill this in. This is already preloaded from your NICSA. You just review this and make sure all the information is accurate. If the information is accurate, you affirm that it is and keep going through the application process. If it's not accurate, then you would then please send an email to elections2021@schools.nyc.gov with what the error is. We fix that, and then you come back in and do the application. But all the information here is what loads the council information that you see on the next page. So as we said, eligibility is based on your students. So wherever your student goes to school and the programs will determine which councils, and they're automatically preloaded in your application. All you then would click, if you have one or you have more than one, you click which one you want to apply. You can apply for all, or you can apply for one or two. You can run for as many councils that you're eligible, but you will only be seated in one council. And the way we determine that is by your council preference. So the next year, if you're doing more than one council, we'll ask you to rank them. What's your first choice to be seated on? What's your second, and so on and so on. So based on this preference will be, if you do end up being the high vote getter in two races, you will be seated at the one by this preference there. So make it, we do tell them, spend some time to really determine which ones you want to serve on first, and rank them, because there will be no opportunity to change it later. It will be determined by your preferences here. And then as you complete the rest of the application, we come to the candidate statement. We do always encourage applicants to complete this page, to submit a statement. We are emphasizing it more now during this virtual COVID time, because we are virtual. There are the less opportunities to get out into the public and meet people and let people get to know you, shake hands, and we're not doing that this year. So there's a lot of less opportunity for people to get in. So don't miss this straightforward opportunity for people to get to know who you are, your background, and why you want to serve, by filling out the candidate statements. The candidate statements will be posted on the website, as well as they'll be a part of a candidate brochure that will be distributed at the forums, which will be downloadable during the forums. So throughout the application process, you can save and come back and continue later. Just make sure you come back before February 28th. So a couple of important things about applying. Every parent has their own separate NYCSA, New York City Schools account. So you get different creation codes, and you should make sure your code is to you, and log in and create your account. Especially if you want to apply, each parent uses their own account to apply. Every parent of a public school student is eligible to run for any school that serves their student. Here's the caveats. 3K are not eligible to run or vote. Pre-K, if you go to pre-K in a school that has a DBN, so in a school building, you are eligible to run and vote. If you go to a pre-K program that is run by a CBO or the district's pre-K center, you are not eligible to run or vote. All of that is trumped by IEP. If your student has an IEP, you are eligible to run for the Citywide Council on Special Education. But for the pre-K and the 3K parents, this is mandated by New York State law. Of course, when the law was written, we didn't have 3K and pre-K, and it's now expanded, and we know it's going to stay. So we're hoping for the next cycle, they fix that in the law so that all pre-K parents will be able to run and vote. So parents we already discussed that they can apply for multiple councils. I do want to emphasize the same school rule still applies, which means that if we have more than one parent from the same school that rises to the highest votes, we will only seat one on the council. So how do we determine is priority is always given to the English language learner or IEP parent, and then from there, the parent with the most votes. So just quickly about voting. So when the voting does open similarly in May, it will be through your NYCSA, which will automatically take you to your ballot. The ballot will be preloaded based on your student's eligibility with the council that you're eligible to vote in. It is the family, you get one vote per child as a family. It's not each parent voting. You can allocate votes. So if you have a ballot like this one where there are several councils, you can, parents can decide, well, I'll do these councils, you do another. But overall, we hope that you will come together as a family and determine which vote together to determine who should. Only one parent will be able to cast the vote through the NYCSA. So once they fill it out, the other parent will log in and see that the ballot is completed. So recap, how do you participate? You link your children to your New York City Schools account. You get that creation code from your parent coordinator, or you can ask your parent coordinator to help you just link it, to help with linking it themselves. Increase your knowledge about education councils. Please attend the education council meetings, see what they're working on, ask questions, determine if it's a fit for you. Then continue to help us get the word out. Talk to your parents about running and voting, forward emails and the flyers. We are hosting daily information sessions, and we do them in different languages. So we've been giving out the flyers. I'll also put them in the chat, but we have one tomorrow. I think tomorrow's Spanish, and then we have week 3 schedule, and then week 4, which will be after break, we'll have. So we are doing some sessions over break. So if anybody wants to, over their break to see or get information, they can. And then we'll have another schedule, a whole week of scheduled for the last week of February. So that's it for me. I can take any questions, but if you have questions after I'm gone, you can email us at elections2021@schools.nyc.gov. And I thank you for listening.
Thank you, Cherie. Does anybody have any questions for Ms. Gibson? Everybody's quiet. I think everybody's just tired.
That too. But it's also a lot. So,
It is.
definitely to think about. And if anybody does have any questions, they can definitely reach out to us.
Thank you, Cherie. Appreciate you spending your time with us.
No problem. My pleasure. Okay, let me just put our contact.
All right, ladies and gents, anybody else? Questions, comments, concerns? No? Yes? Maybe? Everybody's so quiet. Tamara, is there anything I missed? Tamara's not even.
No, sorry.
That's
No,
okay.
I was
That's
looking.
all right.
I was
That's
looking
okay.
to see.
Yes.
I mean, we can't really talk about. Well, you talked about middle school and high school.
Right.
I don't see anything else.
We have a new superintendent. We have some schools that need to get access to their buildings.
Yeah, and their DOE email.
And DOE email.
I wish Christian had stayed because maybe you could have gave her a list of people that needed.
Well, I'll email.
You
I'm sure
can
she
email her, yeah.
she wanted to enjoy her vacation. I don't blame her. Are you kidding me?
That's why half of them are not here.
Exactly. And I don't blame. Listen, it would have happened today. Would have happened tomorrow. It wouldn't have mattered. It would have been the same thing. Anybody else?
We're good.
No, Vito, anything? Did I miss
No,
anything?
you had bylaws on the.
That was for anybody who didn't have bylaws. That was my
Okay.
thing. If anybody needed, assistance with bylaws, or they weren't sure if their bylaws were correct, or if they had to review them, renew them. But it's the same. Nobody here is any new that would know. Nobody seems to be.
In theory, we should add the Zoom and the remote stuff in.
Okay. Into our bylaws, yes. You have to change your yes.
Yeah, everybody should add that in general.
I agree. Definitely. Yeah, because I think from this moment on, I highly doubt that we're going to be holding meetings back in our buildings anytime soon. And I don't mean just in the next couple of months. I mean years from now. I think this is going to be our.
And even when we do, I mean, I could see us going to the meeting at the pre-K center like we used to, but still zooming out to everybody who can't be there, right? Why not?
Exactly.
They miss out on breakfast. Hey.
Exactly. That's all. Okay. Nothing else? Everybody's good?
I think that's it.
Okay.
When's our next meeting?
Our next meeting is March the 12th.
Oh, and I looked that up. There's no holidays on that day.
Oh, good. I'm so glad. Thank you.
Yeah.
Very good. All right. Excellent. So with that said, thank you all for joining. Please consider running for the CEC. If you have any other questions or comments, or you need things done, please don't feel free to contact us. And everyone, take a breath, relax, enjoy the week off. Hug your kids, even if you don't like them. And enjoy and have a great restful time. See you March 12th.
Bye.